we're going to do something different on a Saturday. I don't know why this came up on my timeline, and I watched a little bit of it, and it's scary, it's scary, mate, to all the young lads out there, especially if you're struggling, don't fall into the trap of watching stuff like this and believing it, because it is not true. Trust me, it is not true.
3 out of 10 men are some of the least attractive out there. Many will describe them as bad looking, ugly, or even words like creepy and weird. So I wanted to make a video about what their life is like and how their life often unfolds. I've broken it down into chapters, going through things such as their upbringing, their dating life, social interactions, etc. And I'm going to turn this into a recurring series. So over many months, there'll be a video of 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, etc. that will be uploaded every 5 to 6 videos. So make sure you subscribe to keep up with this recurring series. Genuinely, subscribe. There's been people that have been watching me for years, and they've been pretty much watching every video. So if you subscribe, you're guaranteed to get my videos in your recommendations. But anyways, now getting into it. So our first chapter is how common are 3 out of 10s. Well, for this, I'll be using my own face rating data from customers, and is a sample of 1,000. The 3 out of 10s is this bar here, which makes up 9% of the sample. So only 1% scored lower than that, which was a 2, and 90% scored higher, which is a 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. So basically, 3 out of 10s are the bottom 10% of men, but not the bottom 1%. Now, I broke this data down more in depth in a dedicated video, a very popular video, which you can check out after. But sticking with the 3 out of 10s, this is why, when they're in the bottom 10%, they'll often be labelled things both to their face and behind their back, like being creepy or weird, even if their behaviour didn't constitute this. If the girl is nicer, she might just say, "You're not my type." Or if she's harsher, she might even say, "You thought you had a chance," in a condescending voice. Furthermore, behind his back, people might straight up say he's ugly, or that he gives her the ick. They'll use these more direct labels when he's not looking, whereas they'll use more euphemistic language when speaking to him face to face, or straight up insult him if she was offended by the fact he approached. If a girl is nicer, she might say something like she feels bad for him, which in essence tiptoes around the fact she thinks he's ugly. Or she might say she gets a bad vibe from him. And a phrase that I've noticed is very common is one might say, "I hope he isn't there," when there's an upcoming social situation.
No girl's ever said, based on someone's face. Well, just like you say, behaviour is a different thing. But no woman has ever said, just because of the way someone's face looks, "I hope he isn't there." That is cap. Does not happen. Didn't happen. This is why we've got to be careful, man. Don't believe in this shit. And you only get called creepy or weird if you do creepy shit.
Now what sucks and is unfair is these labels are almost never a reflection of the man's behaviour. But they also aren't surprising, because when guys look like this, it's so common for people to judge and make negative comments purely based on his looks. People always judge a book by its cover. So justified? No. But expected based on how most people are in the real world? 100% yes. Now, an important distinction I want to make for 3 out of 10s is there's a very big difference between who I call genetic 3 out of 10s versus lifestyle 3 out of 10s. Put simply, genetic 3 out of 10s are unattractive because of poor facial structure, whereas lifestyle 3 out of 10s are unattractive because of poor lifestyle habits, which is usually going to be obesity or poor hygiene. And this is why it's not uncommon that they may have been more attractive in the past, when they were younger, before the negative compounded effects of a poor lifestyle.
Right, just to stop in there, unfortunately I'm going to have to keep interjecting. Poor lifestyle habits, yes, correct. If you're overweight, you can sort that out. If you've got poor hygiene, you can sort that out. Obviously women aren't going to go for that. But genetics... Look at me. We're there. Wait. Look at me. Look at my nose. Look I can't do it like. Look at my teeth. My hairline's been like this since I was 12 years old. I've been fat my whole life. Fat, right? Fat. I've lost some weight recently. I'm usually around 22 stone. I've had some pussy. Quite a lot. Don't believe it. I've got 3 kids. Their mum is gorgeous. Size 10. Beautiful, lovely girl. Obviously we don't get on anymore because I turned into an addict. So she left us, rightly so. So just... No, man. People, like, I understand in this day and age with the dating apps and that, you've got to get outside, man. Get into a team sport, learn what banter is. My friends crucified me growing up for being fat and having messed up teeth. Didn't stop us getting laid, no. My best pal is short. I'm 6 foot, he's about 5'6". I think he might be 5'4", but don't tell him I said that. I work with him still. I rip him daily for being a short horse. Scrappy do. You can have a go, like, you can scrap. But he's like Scrappy do. I hold him back by his little coattails. And he calls me fat. And he greets me, he calls us Dracula or vampire. Keep going to the wrong side because the camera's the wrong way around. I mean, I'm 44 now. And I can still get some. I'm going to prove it is. I'm going to have to, like, because I do not want young lads picking up on this shit. Like, it's nothing to do with the way you look. Back to the video.
Which can be beneficial because he remembers how much better treatment he got when he was more attractive. And he also knows there's potential to change and his life to improve. For example, this man, it's obvious his main issue is obesity. It makes him a 3 out of 10, but if he lost weight and his face becomes leaner around the cheeks, the jawline, his score jumps up to a 6, arguably 7 out of 10. Meanwhile, for genetic 3 out of 10s, their flaws cannot be changed, and he's likely suffered the consequences of poor looks for his whole life. And this can lead to negative reinforcement because the treatment he's gotten has always been bad, which stunts his social skills development, which then leads to even worse treatment, more rejection, because now his social skills are bad. And it's very hard to escape because looksmaxxing won't save him.
Looksmaxxing is nonsense. Like that bloke they've got up there, the one with the bald head and the hairline like mine. I know a lad who looks similar to him, too. I know, if you just go on our face, there was a kid in my class in school. His nickname was Ratty. He still gets called Ratty because he looks like Roland Rat. And that's not a diss, he does look like a rat. He's got a bird. I think he's got kids. Last time I seen him in Morrison's, he was with his bird. She was a bit of a crackerjack, but she wasn't that bad. It's just honestly, don't fall into this, please.
For example, this man, even though there's some looksmaxxing he can do, such as improving his skin with skincare, or getting a hair transplant to get a better hairline,
no.
It won't make much difference because he's still limited by several structural flaws that cannot be changed, such as too much eye spacing, a very long, extended midface, and a narrowing lower third, making his jaw look weak, more triangular, and less attractive. Now, another important distinction I want to make is there's also a difference between being facially 3 out of 10 and SMV 3 out of 10. For example, this guy, he is likely 3 out of 10 SMV, and that's because of factors such as
the lad I was just on about there, my little short friend. He's got kids. He split up with their mum, but she's a stunner, little waxer. It's never stopped him, man. When we used to go clubbing in the 20s at school, he got all of it. I used to struggle because of my weight, pulling randoms in nightclubs. Little Tom, I've said his name now. Bro, if he wanted to take a bird back or go back to a bird's, when we used to go to Icon in Newcastle every Friday night, he would always leave with a girl. Because you know what, he's confident. He gets on the dance floor. He's got no fear. Even there's been times when he's done the wrong thing and got into bother, and he'll just start wailing on people. But it's confidence, man, and humour. That was, like you say, Tom is a confident little man. I am a funny, fat man. I've always been fat, but I have a sense of humour. Play to your strengths, man. Just having a bad face doesn't mean look at my face. I would put pictures up to prove it of me past girlfriends, partners, me wife, but I think that's a bit disrespectful, and I'm not here to disrespect women, not one bit. But what you look like, look at me, look at this. It doesn't mean nothing.
Is very below average height and a poor frame. Others might have an SMV of 3 because of a bad hairline, their pheno, or their age, which can be a big one. Or a very big one, which often isn't spoken about much in this community, is how your brain works, which I hope people understand what I'm alluding to here. And what's interesting...
Wait, I don't know what you're alluding to, but this is what I'm saying. It's all about your personality, your confidence, your humour. That'll outbeat... I can look like a chad, as they call them. But if you've got no personality, you're boring. You've got no sense of humour. With dating apps, oh, he looks nice, I'll go meet him. And then that's like airhead birds, isn't it? Dolly birds is what we call them up here in Newcastle. I don't want to come off as a misogynistic, sexist, whatever you have it, but lads need to know this, like, dolly birds, they're alright for a smash and dash, but after that, what are you going to have in common with them? Like some people do, like a trophy bird. But, like you said, get one that is pretty, nice body, likes you, you like them. That's all that matters, man. Honestly.
Interesting is if you're brought down by any of these things and it makes you a 3, you'll often find you'll get more friend zone rejections. For example, this man might be told that even though he's a nice guy, she still doesn't want to go out with him because she views him more as a friend. And that's because he's not bad to look at, he's around a 6 out of 10 facially, but his height often wouldn't be enough for a woman to consider him as an option. Whereas when you're a 3 out of 10 facially, you're much more likely to receive reactions of disgust.
Wrong. Little Tom, like I've said, he could take a bird or go back to a bird every Friday night in Icon. Me, being the funny, fat man, how my brain works, I struggled, and a lot of lasses do in the village, where we lived. They're like, there's more as a friend, and I got friend zoned, more than me little mate. Right, so this is just cap.
Words like creep, weirdo, or straight up no, because she's instinctively repelled by your looks and gives you bad treatment as a result. Therefore, it's often better to be a 3 out of 10 in SMV than a 3 out of 10 facially. Because if you're mainly brought down by factors such as height, you'll still have social opportunities and be included in different groups. Furthermore, you'll still have very occasional dating opportunities because if I had to say for this guy here, he may be...
I'm sorry for keeping interrupting, like, but if you're getting limited to social opportunities because of what your face looks like, you need some new friends, because that is bullshit.
He has a chance with the short girl, and that's a very strong maybe. I would give 10% odds. He definitely doesn't have a chance with the taller girl because she would definitely be looking at this guy or him. But the short guy at best has a chance with her, and I can verify it because I've seen couples like this before. So the term 3 out of 10 can mean different things given the context, but especially if you're 3 out of 10 facially, I'd say it's worse, and the bad treatment can start as early as your upbringing. Now, if you were unattractive in your upbringing, you might have had experiences such as people saying, "We don't want to play with you." So you're straight up excluded.
This is a totally different thing, like, because like I mentioned before, Ratty, no disrespect, I know anyone's going to watch us, he'll definitely not, so he was probably one of the ugliest kids in the air, unfortunately for him. But he was one of our boys, like, we were the popular crew who went to get stoned at the Ridley, the youth club, before school every day. Ratty grew up and out, he had his sister's hand-me-downs for his blazer. A men's blazer at school, you had the flaps on the side, the 2 cuts. The lasses ones were just round, no cuts in the back. He had his older sister's handy-downs. But he was one of the boys. Don't get it twisted, honestly. You need better friends. And like you say, if you're socially awkward, you've just got to work on it. Your parents should help you with that. Get into sport, get into a team game. Isolation and watching shit like this will ruin you more than anything else.
Excluded from various groups, or in the rare occasions you are allowed to join, you might be invited to be used or joked around. You are at the bottom of the social pyramid. You'll often get picked last in team games, and a very big one is being bullied, because your looks is often one of the prime targets for bullies to target you. And when you have these experiences, it often makes it hard to escape because you can find yourself trapped in this cycle. People exclude you, you get bullied, which then leads to poor social development and negative reinforcement. So people exclude you more because now they think you're the weird kid. And very few people want to stand up for the kid who's being left out. Because
no one thinks you're the weird kid for the way your face looks. No one. It's your actions. If you're a little weirdo, people will think you're weird. What's all? I've got 3 sons. Young men, we need to get involved in team sports, please, or join a club, judo, karate. Like my little one, he's on a basketball team, plays every Sunday. You've got to be involved with stuff, because if you just let them sit on them computers, they end up watching nonsense like this.
it risks their own reputation. So you'll often find your upbringing is this poor gets poorer and rich gets richer dynamic. The disadvantaged accumulate more disadvantages, whereas the advantaged accumulate more advantages. So your upbringing can be massive in terms of affecting your future. And in terms of the future, it's usually around 18 years old where people have feelings of beginning a dating life. And for this chapter, I thought I'd use data from my own polling on the channel for what men's looks are and whether they are virgin or not virgin. Not a perfect measure for dating success, but the data is still eye-opening. Firstly, for sub-5s, for which there were 1,300 responses, and this includes all people that scored a 4 or below, not just the 3s, 70% said they were a virgin, whereas only 30% said they are not. Next, for the normies, for which there were 2,800 responses, theirs was a perfect 50-50 even split. And lastly, for the chads, which is guys who thought they were 7 and up, there were 900 of these responses. Their outcome was 42% and 58% respectively. So even from this data, it seems that sub-5s are struggling significantly more.
Look at this. Look at this. My teeth have been like this since I was at school. My nose has always been mixed up, even though the powder made it worse. I lost my virginity when I was 13. This means nothing. This isn't some, and I'm not bragging on now, it's just what happened like. This means nothing.
And if it was boiled down just for the 3s, because remember, this data also includes the 4s, the percentages would be even more skewed, potentially 80 or 90%. And this isn't surprising, because if you're an unattractive man, on average, you're going to find it a lot harder. Girls won't want to meet with you, they'll make more excuses. They'll be drier over text. As a matter of fact, delving deeper into the rejection signals, a 3 out of 10 guy is way more likely to experience last-minute flakes, extremely delayed replies, short one-word replies. She never asks questions, so it's always you having to carry the conversation.
Sorry, I understand this is aimed at online dating and that, but just go out. Go out. Go to parties. And then it's like, oh, well, I can't go because I'm the ugly guy. No. Get some friends. If we'll play devil's advocate, right? If this was really a thing, why don't you become mates with all the other ugly dudes? And then you can start speaking to all the ugly chicks. Then you can have your own little ugly parties. Teenagers and young people in their young 20s are freaks. Look at some of them. I know I say inappropriate stuff at times and I apologise. But near where I live, there's a care village. They're all Down syndrome in there. One of me mate, little Tom, his mum, worked there. They're freaks. Freaks. Where would they be on the 1 to 10? Face card? Come on, man.
She'll leave you unread, or ignores you after one text. Or to be honest, a lot of these are actually a stretch because what's even more common is that the guy just gets no matches to begin with.
Go out. Leave your room. Go out. Come on.
Or if he hides his face at the start, he is ghosted as soon as he shows his face. And if he tries meeting girls in real life, he'll often find girls make false excuses to leave the interaction early. And to highlight what I'm talking about, I found this video which proves the points perfectly.
Ladybird. Bro, how I... Before he says anything, it's not that the problem isn't how you look. Aye, curtains were in back in the early 90s when I was at school. I think that ship has sailed, but look at the caption you put on, bro. Getting back to what I was saying, this has nothing to do with his face. This is just being a weirdo. And then that lass is a bitch for posting this. I'm sorry, but she is.
Now, I thought it was harsh for her to upload this video to social media. If he saw this, his self-esteem must have been crushed. But again, it's a matter of it being unfair, but expected, just given the truth about how a lot of people are. The man in the video, unfortunately, is a 3 out of 10 in looks, and that's because of several flaws, including the curved and receded hairline. He has significant facial asymmetry, a weak and rounded jawline, making him look low testosterone, low masculinity, an oversized nose.
So I've got a weak and rounded jaw. So that means that I'm giving off low T vibes. Come on, man. Please, and the thing is this channel is, the comments are heartbreaking. People believe this stuff, man. Look at that clavicular, looksmaxxing and that, like. And I understand, I'm an old man. Everyone's on the dating apps now. That's how people interact. Go outside. Go to the pub. Go to parties. Go to barbecues. Go to team sports. And be yourself. There's only one you. Don't forget that shit. There's only one you. And there's someone for everyone. Plenty of fish in the sea. Look at me. I'm a fat retard. And even if you don't believe anything I've said, I've got 3 sons, so I've obviously at least had me like over 3 times. Incels, man. It's honestly like, and he's curated an army of incels. Look, the comments on, I'm not even going to them, like, but they're heartbreaking, man. Please don't go down this road.
Too much eye spacing and poor under-eye support, giving him eye bags. There's others as well, but they're just to name a few, and that's why that video was made about him. Similarly, here's another video highlighting the same.
Roughly a year that I've been trying to do a cold approach on the street by myself. Didn't really work out very well.
Wait, it's not gonna be rolling up to people.
Excuse me. Let it go. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I didn't watch this before I posted this. If these Saturday videos, I'm trying to help young men. If they go anywhere, I'll get some meta glasses and I'll show you how it's done, right? You can't just run up the birds on the street, man. Are you mental? Have a walk around. Be relaxed. Walk with purpose and smile. When you get a smile back, then you don't just run up to women.
If the girl blanks you like that, just let her go. She's never going to stop. What's your name?
Esther.
What are you doing today, Esther? Huh?
Meeting with friends.
Well, you seem quite uncomfortable with me, so I think I will let you go.
You seem quite uncomfortable. Like, how, where, man? And you see, the thing is you could say, well, it looks like he's got a woman's bag on, and looks like he's wearing women's jeans. But the way he's approaching them, and even the way he's standing, man, like, what are you doing? And I understand. I don't mean to be rude. I don't. But honestly, I'm going to have to show you, nah, you are young lads. This is who this is aimed at anyway. And I'm an old man. But you just walk around, be yourself, be happy, smile. You say hello to people, like up here in your castle. Say, man, walking his dog, you say good morning. And you just relax, have a good time. I'll go into Northumberland Street in the town where it's busy, walk with confidence, smile at people, say hello if people make eye contact, and then as soon as a woman smiles at you, then, excuse me, have you got a second? Or, oh, you're beautiful. Like, I know it sounds cheesy and cliche, but you've got to do it like. But the better thing again, instead of doing this weird, like it is a bit weirdo stuff, like you've got to have bottle to do it. I'll give the lads that. You've got to have bottle for the cold approach. But you do the cold approach, but in pubs, in bars, in nightclubs. If you do team sports, barbecues, just wait for eye contact, smile. If they smile back, speak to them. They might just be being nice, they might have a partner. It doesn't matter. You're socialising, you're learning. Like sitting in your bedroom, trying to use filters and uploading pictures and looksmaxxing. It's not going to work. Like I'm telling you now, it's not going to work. And if you watch stuff like this on the regular, all it's going to do is shatter your confidence and make you think, well, what's the point in even trying? No.
Have fun.
You too.
Now, facially, this man is better looking than the first guy. But given his height, which I'd estimate around 5'5",
No, given the fact he's running up to women.
and bald heads, he's still a 3 out of 10 overall. And that's what's leading to these reactions. You saw several right there, where the girls are making false excuses to leave the interaction early. Now, I have another dedicated video which shows 40 differences in treatment between sub-5s, normies and chads,
No.
which was very popular again, but I got a lot of hate for this video, which I'd recommend checking out after because there's a lot of value in here.
Sorry for keep stopping, like, but again, reverse the roles. If they were women, an absolute supermodel, a normal one, and then aesthetically unappealing. If they just walked up to men in the street and approached them and started giving them compliments, you would see the same thing. You would see men being lost for words, getting flustered. That's what happens when a child walks up to women. It's human nature, isn't it? But don't let that deter you. Please do not.
As a matter of fact, I looked at my analytics recently, and I'm getting a massive number of views from channel pages. It's the second highest view count after the homepage, which is a huge proportion for a YouTube channel. So, like many others, I'd recommend giving my YouTube page a scroll after you finish this one, because there's some absolute banger videos that I've uploaded before. Now, the next chapter is what being a 3 out of 10 has other effects on your life. And what I've noticed is 3 out of 10s usually develop a more insular life, avoiding social interactions, and that's usually a byproduct of them receiving all of this negative reinforcement outside. Why try to socialize when you've constantly received bad treatment? So many adopt a tech-heavy lifestyle, involving surfing online, gaming, forums, and joining anonymous communities.
People meet. People get married. People meet their future spouses. Playing games, playing online gaming.
And it's no surprise they delve into these hobbies because there's no barrier to entry for your looks. Socializing does have looks barriers to entry. Because if you're in a game and you've got the highest kill death ratio, people still show you a lot of respect as they aren't judging you based on your looks, which they can't see. The next chapter I wanted to talk about is social interactions. Experiences 3 out of 10s have had might include people making excuses to leave, or when the main people leave, suddenly everyone else disappears. You know how it is, you're part of a group of 5 or 6 people, and you actually think you're starting to get liked. But then it's only when the 1 or 2 main people leave the group, and just moments later, suddenly everyone else leaves, leaving you isolated. People might make remarks behind your back. You need to force your invitation to upcoming events, whereas others are automatically invited. So in these groups, say if there's a party coming up, it's often known that the Chad is already coming. Meanwhile, as a 3 out of 10 guy, you're basically in limbo. You don't know if you're invited or not.
No. This is nothing to do with what your face looks like. Nothing. If you're a 3 or a 2, learn how to DJ, learn how to mix. you're going to go to every party then. This is the thing, like, trying to blame everything on your face and genetics. It's just loser mentality, unfortunately. And I feel, like you say, I've got a face for radio. I've made it work. I DJ'd. I love music, obviously. I DJ'd loads of parties. And the amount of time I got cold approached off women when I was DJing.
So you have to explicitly ask or even beg to make sure you are coming. Another thing is, some 3 out of 10 men feel they need to compensate with humour. So the guy knows his acceptance is conditional.
Be funny. Women like comedians. Look at Shane Gillis. Do you see the bit he's with?
And that condition can be whether he makes other people laugh, is bringing jokes, or some might describe this as jester-maxing. And it's even worse when some 3 out of
Jester-max. Fucking honestly. Jester.
10 men will deliberately self-deprecate themselves just in order to stay accepted. This is one of the worst situations to be in. It's not even worth it, because you know you're only being in the group to be laughed at and be made the butt of all of the jokes. And this is why, getting to the last chapter on life trajectory, many 3 out of 10s end up adopting this solitary, insular lifestyle. And it's because poor looks means dating is always a struggle. Poor looks means finding employment is a struggle.
You can't get a job because you're a 3 out of 10. Honestly, this is dangerous, like, it is. Especially young teenagers watching this stuff. No, man. Cap.
Poor looks means being accepted into friendship groups is a struggle. All of these things are true, so as a result, many end up keeping themselves to themselves. Or, being more specific, there's basically 3 paths that the guys end up going down. The first is totally checking out of society, wallowing in sadness and being upset.
Bro, if you're going to sit there and hug Blanky, then you deserve it, unfortunately.
It's about the disadvantages you faced. The second is locking in and joining hobbies where you don't have to deal with the looks barrier to entry, which I found gaming and online communities is a big one. And the last one is trying to improve. Because for some men, if you're a 3 out of 10 before, after improving your looks you might become more attractive. But this path mainly applies to lifestyle 3 out of 10s, like I spoke.
If you improve your looks, you may become more attractive. If you improve them, you can't be worse.
About earlier in the video. Genetic 3 out of 10s don't have as high of a ceiling to work towards. But anyways, given this, if you found this interesting, I'd recommend purchasing a face rating and looksmaxxing report from myself. This is my flagship product which keeps this channel afloat and can be beneficial because if you found you've been doing too much locking in, stages 1 or 2 like I showed in the previous slide, you might not even know where you stand or what your potential is. In fact, I get customers all of the time, like I rated this guy a 5 out of 10, and he responds, "Am I that ugly?" For which I tell him 5 out of 10 is average and he's got nothing to worry about. And he has a lot of potential to improve, not just his looks, but his social life as well. You never truly know if you've been isolating too much until you know your potential. And the prices are affordable as hell, where you get a ton of value included. And I have...
So I can't. A ton of potential. Having a nicer face, yes. If you're just going to run up to women on the street like that bald dude before, it's going to help you there. But it's not going to, makes no difference. You're going to give him $100 to outline your flaws. No, man. No. Oh. Please don't fall into this. Please do not fall into this. Be yourself. Be confident. Be funny. If you can't be any of them, try. Join a group of like-minded people. If you're a nerd, join the nerd groups. There's groups for all of us, man. Like I say, look at me. Look at this. I've done alright. Ask anyone who knows us. Don't, honestly. But I'm gonna stick on this side because this came across my feed last night. I watched the first half of it and I thought, you know what, this is dangerous, like. But unfortunately, with everyone living a more online life now, I can't see it getting any better. But there you go.